Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tyler, and today I am bringing you guys the second installment of What If Kakashi Adopted Sasuke, and I'm not going to be calling it the finale just yet, because if you guys actually show a lot of support for this part, I actually will be continuing into Boruto. If not, well, I'll just make a part 1 and 2 movie about this. So yeah, depending on what you guys want, I will be making either a part 1 and 2 movie, or a part 3 for this What If, and then a part 1, 2, and 3 movie. Now with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get right into this part, because we have a lot to cover.
Hey, collecting rings like a Sonic. Bitches wanna party. My wrist getting heavy, so got 'em on a diet. Yeah, flex like I'm Hogan. Yo, bitch coming over. We respect.
Now, the first thing I would like to go over is what would happen to Sasuke during the 2.5-year gap. Since he isn't training with Orochimaru, what will he be doing? Well, he will be training with Kakashi, like how I said in the end of part 1. Now, while training with Kakashi, he would get the 3-Tomo Sharingan and increase his training with the Sharingan overall, and this leads into a much more powerful Kakashi as well, since he has a training partner, and this Sasuke would also have the summoning contracts of the dogs. He would also be mastering the shape manipulation of his Chidori, which would lead into him learning the Chidori Nagashi, the Chidori True Spear, and he can even make a little lightning dog similar to Kakashi's Lightning Beast Hunting Fang. He could also perform lightning clones now, lightning shuriken, you name it. He's just overall mastered the element of lightning, and he even has increased his fire style to the point to where he does fire shuriken jutsu similar to Itachi. His skill with genjutsu has also increased a lot, along with Kakashi's level of genjutsu, since he's training with a Sharingan user and an Uchiha at that. Now, as for Kakashi, he would still unlock his MS, however, he can actually use this more than 2 times. He can actually use it for 3 times before he actually collapses to exhaustion, thanks to, again, another Uchiha training with him. Now, if you guys are wondering about the Amaterasu in Sasuke's eye, that actually occurred after the whole Sasuke versus Itachi fight, so Kakashi is actually safe here. Sasuke here wouldn't have his MS, which I do feel like makes sense here, because, again, like, Sasuke needs to have an emotional moment for that to happen, rather with a non-Uchiha who just needs hard training. So that's the reason why Sasuke doesn't have his MS yet, but overall, in normal raw strength like Sharingan to Sharingan, Sasuke would have the advantage over Kakashi here. However, when Kakashi uses his MS, he would definitely defeat Sasuke. But that's only due to hacks and with his Kamui. Now, with that being said, this would lead into Naruto returning to the village, and Sakura, him, and Sasuke this time retaking the bell test, and they would pass even faster than before. This would still lead into the Kazekage rescue mission, since Sasori and Deidara would still damage Kankuro and kidnap Gaara, and they would then make their way to the Sand Village with Sasuke here this time. Sakura would heal Kankuro, and Chiyo would still join the squad. Now, when they encounter the Itachi clone, Sasuke is going to want to try and take this battle all by himself, and he and the Itachi clone would proceed to scrap, but Naruto knows that they can't waste time, and for Gaara's sake, Sasuke snaps out of it and allow his teammates for help, which would lead into a Sasuke-Kakashi team-up overwhelming the clone, and Naruto finishing him off with a Mega Rasengan. My guy's team would be taking down the Kisame clone similar to how they did in canon, and eventually they arrive at the Akatsuki hideout, where Sakura would destroy the hideout, and this would reveal where Gaara, Sasori, and Deidara are. And Naruto and Deidara would both be bloodlusted, because Deidara would see Sasuke, Itachi's brother, and Naruto would see Gaara dead on the floor. This would then lead into the Deidara chase sequence with Sasuke, Kakashi, and Naruto pursuing after him, while Sakura and Chiyo would deal with Sasori, which that battle takes place similar to in canon. Meanwhile, for Sasuke, he would be fighting alongside Kakashi and Naruto against Deidara, who would be waiting for the right chance to strike Sasuke specifically, but he would be disrupted by Kakashi using Kamui. This would lead into Deidara seemingly blowing himself up, but Kakashi using Kamui to save everybody, and Deidara would then leave a final message saying to Sasuke that he will eventually fall to his hand. The Kazekage would still be revived by Chiyo, and this would conclude the Kazekage rescue mission. The next arc that would go down is the Sasuke rescue mission, which wouldn't happen here because, well, they have no reason to rescue Sasuke because he wasn't training with Orochimaru in the first place. And with this happening, Orochimaru would still be alive, but would still be very sick, and Team Taka or Hebi wouldn't be formed here because Sasuke would have no reason to form that team. What would be happening is how Naruto knows that Sasuke is stronger than him, and he sees how he has lightning jutsu and whatnot, but maybe Naruto can learn his element and maybe counter Sasuke. And so with that being said, he would learn about the wind style jutsu, or his wind affinity, my bad, but I feel like when Naruto is starting to learn this affinity, I don't feel like he would be learning it in nearly as much time as he did in canon, because he wouldn't be rushing it, but rather taking his time. And when they get the news about Asuma dying, Sasuke and Kakashi would go out to go and help Shikamaru and the rest of Team 10, while Naruto would be learning solely about his wind-style Rasen Shuriken. Now, some differences would occur in the Kakuzu arc. For example, Sasuke, while fighting Kakuzu alongside Kakashi, he would be trying to interrogate the Akatsuki member about Itachi and where he is, but Kakuzu just keeps his mouth shut, and this enrages Sasuke even further, pushing him to actually push his limits and take down one of the hearts, aka the Fire Heart of Kakuzu. They would keep on fighting until this leads into Naruto arriving, which Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi would probably have to work together in order to beat Kakuzu, since this Naruto maybe or maybe not have the Rasen Shuriken. If we waste more time with Naruto learning it, then this either leads into Kakashi using Kamui and they could probably beat Kakuzu then and there before Naruto even arrives, or Naruto arrives and just one-shots him similar to in canon. Regardless, Kakuzu is going to be defeated here, and this would wrap up the Kakuzu arc. Now, this would still lead into Jiraiya going out into the Rain Village and still dying. Meanwhile, Sasuke would be staying back in the Leaf Village with the others, when all of a sudden one night when he was sleeping, we would get Itachi's crow coming by him, and this would lead into Itachi's crow luring Sasuke out of the village and into the Uchiha hideout, which Sasuke decides to take alone because, again, he is an Avenger and he wants to do this mission alone. And with that being said, he would leave the Leaf Village without anyone knowing, and everybody would be freaking out over Sasuke and where he is, and Naruto would also figure out the death of his teacher. Sasuke would go out to fight Itachi in the Uchiha hideout similar to in canon. Meanwhile, Naruto would go out to learn Sage Mode, and Kakashi would form a search party that is composed of Team Kurenai and Team Guy this time. Yes, Team Guy. I figured that my guy, before going out on his mission with Team Guy, Kakashi would request him and Team Kurenai if they could help him find Sasuke, and my guy, being a friend of Kakashi's and Rock Lee being a friend of Sasuke, decides to go and head out. During this time, this would lead into the Pain arc, which Pain would just destroy the Leaf Village similar to how he did in canon, but this time he'd probably just kill Choji and Choza. And this would then lead into Sage Mode Naruto arriving and then facing Pain. Now, the battle would take place similar to how it did in canon, but this time Hinata wouldn't be here because she would be out with Kakashi searching for Sasuke, which means Naruto would just be pinned down with the chakra rods and he would have no way to force Kurama out of him. Which means here that Pain would actually win, and he would collect the Nine Tails and leave the Leaf Village. This would lead into the Leaf Village just kind of being sad at their defeat. Now, understand, guys, that without Hinata here, Naruto would have no way to spurg out the Nine Tails and even try and contend with this Pain and even force him to use Chibaku Tensei. This would lead into Sasuke versus Itachi, which I do feel like Tobi would still abduct Sasuke and manipulate him to join the Akatsuki, which would work here because his entire thing, Sasuke's entire thing that is the whole Itachi thing, and that Itachi betrayed the Leaf and he wanted to try and protect it, actually. And that kind of information to Sasuke is a very big deal, so even if Kakashi is a part of that village, he's still going to have to try and destroy Konoha. So Sasuke would unlock his Mangekyo Sharingan. Now, with this would lead into Sasuke joining the Akatsuki and being teammates alongside Kisame to go and try and collect Killer Bee, which this time works out because in the original Kisame did defeat Killer Bee, and with Sasuke's additional help here, I don't feel like Killer Bee would escape. So yeah, this means that both Jinchuriki are taken away into the Akatsuki's hands, and this means that this would lead into Obito's plan actually being executed kinda easily here. I think all the people would fall, including the Akatsuki, which Obito would just probably kill off. Whether or not you want those characters to survive or not it's really up to you guys. I don't really care, but in this timeline I do feel like it's inevitable that Obito would unlock the Ten Tails Jinchuriki form and just kinda solo everyone even if the war is declared. Let's say that the reanimated army is made here, right? Okay, what's going to happen here? Itachi and Sasuke are going to try and take down Obito? Yeah, that's definitely not going to work out, and in the end Ten Tails Obito would just solo everybody, and sadly, this is the end for what if Kakashi adopted Sasuke. Yo, I really had y'all in the beginning thinking that Boruto is gonna come up to this, and nah bro, Obito just kills everybody here, sadly. But yeah, that's the end of this what if. Sorry guys, sorry to disappoint, but I don't feel, if Hinata goes out with Kakashi to the search party, which I do feel like would happen, and if Naruto's training out in Mount Myoboku, I don't see Hinata coming in and saying I love you, giving that entire speech, and then falling to Pain and then forcing the Nine Tails out of Naruto, which means that Naruto would have no way to spurg out of his situation and he would die. And in the end, I do feel like even if, let's say Kakashi, like, I guess, talk no jutsu'd his son back into his team, I don't see them defeating Obito. So you could just have Sasuke and Kakashi working in unison, but falling to Obito. But yeah, guys, sadly, that wraps up What If Kakashi Adopted Sasuke. If you guys enjoyed this part, did you let me know. Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Let me know down below, and I will be making a movie out of this. It's just a two-parter, but hey, it's something to upload, and peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.